Happy World Photography Day! There was a tiny panic there.
There was a moment there where the screen went black and we were not on the screen.
We're just staring at Gavin, like saying, what are you doing? Welcome, and we're here, Coffee with the Claires. It's been ages. The last session Claire did by herself.
And the one before that,
I did by myself. And before that, it was a couple of months that we hadn't done
We had
one.
a break.
So,
and then it was the OM1 launch. So we haven't been together for months.
We haven't been and done a Coffee with the Claires for months. So we are very excited.
Yes. And what a great day to do it on, World Photography Day. Tell us where you are, say hello in the comments. Tell us what you're doing for World Photography Day.
Absolutely. And we're outside. How nice is it? We're actually outside, so if it rains...
I did feel a few spits of rain, but you can't see us. We're under a cover, but Gav and Sam are not.
All that kit is going to get very wet, and someone spelt my name wrong.
Our weather sealed.
Claire Harvery May. That'll do, Gavin, it's fine. Yes, we've got a great show lined up for you today. I mean, what are you doing for World Photography Day?
Are you getting out shooting?
Yes.
Are you editing? Are you planning a photo trip? We want to know what you're up to. A quick reminder, don't click any spam links that pop up. The only links that will pop up will be from us, and we'll be showing them along the bottom of the screen. I think David did have a couple of spam links pop up on his last live. So please ignore them, don't click them. We will never ask you to pay for any of these sessions. We will never post links from anyone else apart from OMSYSTEM.Cameras or OMSystem UK or Get Olympus. So yes, please remember that.
Make sure you say hello because we are going out globally. We are going out to the US Get Olympus. So anyone from across the pond, hello, good morning from us.
We've already seen it's like
not 4 o'clock in the morning.
4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning.
But
it's very early in the morning in America, and we've already seen some coming in from Chicago.
Yep.
We've seen some Spanish colleagues saying hello.
Good morning.
And Pernilla is online watching
Pernilla, our lovely Swedish colleague Pernilla. How are you? I hope you're well, and I hope to see you very soon, which will be soon.
Hopefully, yes. Ah, there she is, Pernilla.
Hey, hello, Pernilla.
So we've had an exciting August already. We've been doing OM Summer School, if you've been following on our social channels, where we've been posting tips and tricks throughout the month for different key features of the OM system.
Yes.
So we've had Pro Capture, we've had Live Comp and Starry AF.
Starry AF.
And we've had Bird AF.
Yes.
Which we're in Bird AF.
Yeah, and that was very popular, the Bird AF, wasn't it?
Definitely.
Because lots of wildlife and birding photographers that went down very well.
It did. And next week, the final week of OM Summer School, is focus stacking.
And that is perfect because we're coming into fungi season.
Oh yes.
You're going to want to get your focus stacking technique pretty good before fungi season
get
starts.
practicing now.
Exactly that.
Get your camera set up. And if you follow OMSystem.Cameras on Instagram, you'll see along the highlights section of our stories, David has been doing some really great technical tips every Tuesday throughout August, where he shows you exactly how to set up these great features. So keep an eye next Tuesday where he will be setting up focus stacking.
Yeah, so it's brilliant, hasn't it? It's been lots.
It's been great.
And there's always lots to come. We're always planning and plotting. And if there's anything you want to ask us, if there's anything that you would like to ask our guest, make sure you put it in the comments. And the lovely Sam, who is moderating the comments today, will put them on the screen and then we can answer them for you. So please make sure you get involved. It's just not about me and Claire talking to you. It's a two-way thing. So that's what we like, isn't it?
Should we take a look and see where people are dialing in from today?
What have you got
Let's have a
for
look.
us?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
All over the globe.
Croydon.
Croydon.
Hey,
We're
Stefan.
not far. We're down
That's
the
just
road.
up the road. Well, Stefan and I met at NEP a few weeks ago when we were photographing purple emperors.
Ooh, fantastic.
And Gwilyn Williams, is that you say?
Anglesey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Philadelphia.
Philly.
Fantastic.
Hey, Paul.
It's
lovely
early
to see
there.
you.
Really early.
And Sabine from Munich in Germany. So we have a huge audience. Mogan's from Denmark. Singapore.
Wow.
How lovely.
Fantastic. A real global audience.
Yeah, and I hope you're getting involved with World Photography Day because we've got lots of things coming up during the day. But first, what are we doing next, Claire?
We're going to bring on our... No, we're not.
No,
I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, my goodness. It shows that Claire and I have not been live together for some time.
Gav's
No,
like,
we're
what?
not. We thought for World Photography
Yes.
Day we would take a look at just a few images from some of our wonderful OM system users.
Yeah.
So let's, Gavin, have a look. At
We
the
wanted
first
to
image.
spotlight a couple, didn't we?
Yes.
We thought it'd be really nice. We normally show our
Celebrate
images.
photography.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's always about you guys. So we thought we would celebrate and spotlight a couple of customers. We thought that would be lovely.
Sounds perfect. Let's have a look. This is beautiful.
Now, this is from Simon. Oh, it's not. It's not. It's not. Have you got the right comments on there? That's from, you put Mick White Photography. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Just checking. Yeah, that's. I thought we were doing Simon.
Claire's busy giving Gavin a heart attack. You can't see Gavin's face right now, but if you could, it's a picture.
It's hilarious. So this is Mick White. Mick White has been an Olympus user for a fairly long time, and he does a little bit on social. His Instagram is up there, but it's a beautiful shot of a kingfisher, and
That
I
is
know
lovely.
the kingfisher, especially here in the UK, it's the bird you always want to photograph, isn't it?
And they're so tiny.
And they're so quick.
Oh, this big.
Yeah, they're
Like
tiny.
you can't see this for scale,
Yeah.
but this big.
And when they fly, of course, down the path
Yeah.
of the river, they fly with their
They're so
wings tucked
quick.
in, and they're
Yeah.
so fast that generally the images, oh, it's raining. It's raining. Generally, I'm going to carry on. The images tend to be of, them stationary, but it's absolutely beautiful. And I wanted to showcase Mick because it's a fabulous shot. And as I said, it's raining quite hard here, but it's beautiful. I love it.
I think it's lovely. And I love the background,
Yes.
the blurred, and just the focus and the way the perch comes up.
Again, this is from Mick. He's given us a couple of butterflies. If you know what they are, I'd like you to put it up on the screen.
I do not know what they are.
So it would be wonderful. I think they're marbled whites, or I mean, they could
Sam
be.
is nodding at us.
Sam's nodding. A couple
that
of
it's
marbled
a
whites,
marbled whites,
and
yes.
they are absolutely beautiful. Again, beautiful separation from the background, and we wanted to show Mick. Just wanted to show Mick off because he's a lovely end user, part of
Beautiful.
our OM family, and that's what we wanted. So there you go. Okay, we're going now to show Simon. Now, Simon, thanks,
That's
Gavin.
beautiful.
Simon Early, brilliant guy. If you don't follow him on YouTube, get yourself over there and have a look. Simon is fairly new to the system, and the joy about Simon, not only has he been a wildlife photographer for many years, he shoots lots of video for YouTube, and it's great for you to see his Olympus journey or his OM system journey.
Yes.
And beautiful hours. I mean, if you watch this video on YouTube, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Because it's a new shoot where not many people will know about it. So again, it's nice because they're the ones that you don't tend to give away. Look at the colour of on the grass.
Oh, it's just fantastic.
Absolutely beautiful on the owl there. And the next one, Gavin, please. There you go.
Oh, beautiful kingfisher.
Kingfisher.
Yeah.
We love the kingfisher.
That's
That's
why
why
we
I
got
thought the
confused.
other one, exactly.
Because there's two kingfishers.
Yes.
Okay, don't worry. The
Don't
next
panic.
one doesn't have a picture of a
Oh,
kingfisher.
kingfisher. But you know what I love? The fact that you get that stripe down the back.
You don't
where
often
the
see this kind of angle.
No,
of a
you always
kingfisher, do you?
see. We always want to see that sort of front shot, but
Yeah.
actually the beautiful blue patterning, the feathers down the back. I
Yeah.
just think that's lovely. What a great picture. Simon is a great photographer, and as I said, he's new to the system, so I'd like to welcome him to our OM system family.
Fantastic.
And
Welcome,
go
Simon.
follow him on Instagram. Go follow him on YouTube. And as I said, get some hints and tips, especially if you're new to the family as well. Always worth checking out how other people's journeys.
Absolutely. Or if you're considering a switch, if you've yet to switch to OM system, but you're thinking about it, then these are some really great examples of people to have a look at. Tony Hodge says, wow, excellent kingfisher shot. It really is. And just the light looks so beautiful, doesn't it? And how the perch is lit as well. It's Fantastic.
Absolutely lovely. So yeah, really good. And you know, Simon obviously knows his stuff. He was shot with a different brand before.
Yeah.
And as I said, you know, for him to come over to the system, literally dive straight in with the OM1 and the 150-400.
I mean, what a way to go in.
But a lot of people have done that. The OM1 was definitely the benchmark for people wanting to switch systems. And with the 150-400 combi, we've seen a lot of people come over from other systems for that combination. So again, good to learn about how other people are experiencing the OM1 and the 150-400. Go check it out.
Absolutely.
Next, Gavin. Hello.
Hello.
I was going to say it's two birds sitting on a sofa.
Two Claires.
The two Claires.
The
lesser spotted Claires.
Yes.
Sorry. So yes, there we go. And that's the last one from Simon. If anyone can name the bird.
Wren.
Oh, I was going to get people to put it up on screen.
You should have told us that. You didn't give us that heads up. We got excited. It's my favourite bird, the wren.
There you go. Beautiful, the
Absolutely
wren.
lovely. I love the little
tiny
tails.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely
fantastic.
gorgeous. And again, I like the slight backlit through the beak.
It is
So
fantastic.
you literally pick up that little bit of
That
detail.
detail is incredible, isn't it?
So well done, Simon. Welcome to the family. And as I said, if you don't and haven't followed Simon or Mick, get over onto their Instas and their YouTubes and get them a follow and have a look at what they're doing.
Fantastic.
Who are you showcasing, Claire?
Well, I didn't know, Claire, that you were gathering so many images from each of them. So I just have one standout, beautiful image.
Sometimes that's all you need,
That's
right?
all you need. And I've been so impressed recently with the images that this photographer has got using Pro Capture and the detail. And they even did a really great sort of time lapse, put all the pictures together.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you see that?
It was
That little
lovely.
video
Very
of,
lovely.
of the dragonfly fluttering. So I'm just, here we go. Now, most of you will recognise.
Should we get the
these
people to
photos.
guess?
Should we guess? Let's.
It's up
put
on
it
the
up
screen
already.
now.
That's it.
I mean,
Sue Crow. Hi,
hello,
Sue.
Sue. I mean, literally just down the road.
Yes.
Sue has always been a huge, you know, fan of the system and absolutely nails these bee photography
They're incredible.
shots.
I mean, absolutely fantastic. There's a whole series of these. If you take a look on Sue's Instagram page, there's loads of them, and most recently Dragonflies, which was the one we were talking about as a time-lapse video, which looked fantastic. But they're just so perfectly sharp, and the lighting and how the bokeh falls on this is just beautiful. And I really just wanted to showcase Susie because she's so lovely and so helpful. She's always active in all of the groups and on our pages and always chatting to everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
And on every live with us, as she is today. And her photos are just beautiful, absolutely incredible.
And always there to help people out, even at our in-store events and our workshops.
Absolutely.
Susie's a huge part of our family, and yeah, we're very lucky to have her, aren't we?
We are, yes.
And Craig's just said hello. Our Craig, I think
Hi,
that
Craig.
was. Hello. He said
Thanks
beautiful.
for joining us.
Very funny. Rajesh Mahajan says beautiful image. Thank you, Rajesh.
Fantastic.
We are glad that you're enjoying them. So we've done a little spotlight on customers or end users or Olympus family, whatever we decide we like. And now, what are we going to do, Claire?
We're going to bring on our guest.
Yeah, so this is someone you've not met before. We
No,
thought...
We've never had this person as a guest.
No, and we thought it would be about time we showcase this person. Brand new OM ambassador, Gav, Run VT. Yay!
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Espen. So we would love to introduce you to Espen Helland. Lovely to see you. Thank you for coming on Coffee with the Claires.
Very nice to be here. Thank you very much for having me. It's great that you guys are back on the air.
Yeah, finally. I mean, the first message in from Bruce says, love this guy's work. Susie Crow says, he's one of my heroes. I mean, you know, you do have a fabulous reputation being an amazing photographer, and obviously we are super stoked that you are now an OM user but also an OM ambassador, so formally welcome you to the family.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that. Very happy to be part of it. Really nice to see all the comments here. Hello everybody, and thank you so much.
Oh, that's really cool. And yeah, you've obviously got a lot of love there, and it's so nice to see that, isn't it? You know,
is, yeah.
People know you already, but it's just so nice that you're part of the Olympus family. So should we ask Espen some questions?
We shall.
Yes.
Let's kick straight off with. Obviously, you're not here with us today in person, like we have done recently, and I don't think we could be much further away
in the UK
as we are right now. So where are you dialing in from?
I'm in Perthshire, Scotland, so kind of on the way to Cairngorms for most of the people that come up for that.
Wow. And have you lived in Scotland a long time? Is this a sort of, you know, you've been up there a while?
Quite a long time, yeah. I'm originally from Norway, and I came to Scotland to study wildlife biology and conservation. And I've also worked as an ecologist for years. I would always take my camera with me into the field as an ecologist, and eventually I found that as an ecologist, you're watching the wildlife from a distance, you're finding signs of wildlife, and you know, bringing the camera with me out, and actually it's just such a much more immersive experience. You're getting close up with the wildlife, and I have to say I much more prefer that. So eventually I made the switch to full-time wildlife photographer.
But what it does, I suppose, having that background, it allows you to have a lot more facts about what you're doing and about the things you're photographing. So you get it from a scientific point of view, and then obviously you can add the photography on top of that, which makes that whole
nice
thing.
Combination,
yeah, it's a really good combo. Whereas normally photographers do it the other way around. They'll find a species they like, and then they'll learn about it. So you've sort of done it almost in reverse to a certain extent.
Yeah, kinda. It's been definitely been a journey that I'm happy that I went on, and it's been very helpful for, you know, finding wildlife in the first place and getting close to it. Having that background just really helps. Absolutely.
So I love that. I mean, I love that. I mean, obviously, you and I have sort of crossed paths before, as in with the Pro Loan Scheme, because this is sort of how we met originally, wasn't it, via emails and things.
That's right.
Tell us about your switch to Olympus. Well, tell us about your OM system journey.
Okay. I think, that was probably at the end of 2019, and I'd applied for the loan scheme. And I think you guys sent me the EM1X with the 300 millimeter. I think I got the 1.4 converter as well. Luckily, I got to keep it over the Christmas period, so I think I got to keep it a little bit longer, which was really cool. And I just absolutely love the system because it allowed me to. I do a lot of video as well, so it allowed me to actually go into the field, not dragging a heavy bag with me every time. I hardly ever use a tripod. I don't really like a tripod. And that was one of the selling points of the Olympus system as well, the OM system as well. Just having that image stabilization, which is so good, and the lightweight compactness of the system. So pretty much, what was it, maybe 2-3 months after that, March, April time, 2020, I kind of made the switch, sold my gear, and got myself, I think what I could afford at the time was an EM1 Mark II, and I got the 300 and the 1.4, and that did me really well for quite some time until I added on the EM1X after that. Yeah, been loving it.
Fantastic.
And all the lenses.
All of the lenses.
Yeah, I think it's I mean, it's one of those things. Obviously, now you're with the OM1 and the 150-400, and I mean, I can't remember the last time I used a tripod. Honestly, there's one in my car at all times. When I got it out to clean the car the other day, it was covered in sand, and I thought, I don't remember the last time I.
It would have been a nighttime beach shooting that you would have done, like stars or
how long ago was that?
Painting.
I just don't use a tripod anymore. It's just, you know, it's the joy of having the lighter system. It means you can walk further, carry more that's not, you know, weighty, and I really love that. So it's a brilliant thing to do. Okay, so should we go into some images?
Yes, I mean, we saw a flash of your images in the VT, which were just beautiful. Claire and I were going, oh, that one's amazing. Oh, look at that one. So let's take a look at a selection and let's have a chat. But also, everyone at home, remember, you can drop questions in for Espen as we go, and we will pick them up as we're looking through the images.
Oh, wow.
Oh, beautiful.
So as always, I never look at the images before we go live because I always like to be...
I always look at the images.
You look at them. I never do. I always do this because I like to see them first off. And the back, look at the beautiful bokeh. Look at the backlit in the wings, the backlight on the leaves. Tell us a bit about this shot, Espen.
This is quite a recent shot. I took this early springtime. So one of the things I really like to do then is go in my local woodland and find birds' nests. Very often I'm looking for great spotted woodpeckers, redstarts, but I came across this blue tit nesting hole here. They're nesting in this little crack in the birch tree. And I just saw the potential with what you guys were saying, the light in the background actually coming in quite early in the morning. So immediately I was thinking, okay, this will be a great one for Pro Capture. So this is with the OM1. And I basically positioned myself, a little bit away from here. You want to, take, make sure that you're not disturbing the birds or anything like that. Let them go back and forth. So I was using the OM1 Pro Capture, and 125 or 120 frames per second now is just incredible. So I had to set it up a little bit. Usually I would take maybe 25 frames using Pro Capture, but now I bumped it up to 45 just because it's so fast and it takes so many. But that also allows you to get so many small different wing positions. So I had a lot. I think I filled a 64 gigabyte memory card in 1 hour. So I had a lot to go through and a lot to just instantly delete. But this one really stood out to me. Just because the wing position was just perfect. You can see it's got a little grub in its beak, kind of going back to the nesting hole.
Yeah.
So
that's incredible, and the detail on it is amazing. Superb.
And the joy about Pro Capture, of course, is like you say, that little bit of detail in the beak, whether the beak can be open 0.5 millimeter more, just allows that perfect shot to happen, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
If you can shoot 45 or more frames a second, yes, you might do a lot of deleting, but you will get that perfect shot, especially if the light's coming from behind.
Absolutely.
You can pinpoint the one you want.
And this is also pushing the ISO a bit. I'm up to 8,000 here with the ISO, I believe. Yeah, ISO 8,000.
Wow.
Which allowed me to get a shutter speed of 1/2500th of a second, which is kind of the lower end of what you want with small birds like this. They're really fast, so ideally you want to maybe do a little bit higher. But from experience, I know that with that kind of shutter speed, you might get a little bit of wing blur, but to me that's sometimes okay. That adds a little bit to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that looks tack sharp, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
absolutely.
We've got a question come through.
Right, and that's from Mei Fung Lee, says, how long did you camp out to get this shot?
Good question.
Yeah, very good question. This particular image I got pretty early on. So when I identified this tree and these blue tits going back and forth, I went back there every morning. Every morning that I had sunlight, a clear sky, that sunlight would come through these leaves, and I had available time, I would go back there. This image actually came very early on in the session, my first day out there, so I got very lucky, and that meant that I was hand holding as well. Pro Capture, when I'm doing a setup situation like this, is some of those few situations where I will use a tripod, just because you get tired. You have to hold your camera, your lens up like this, same position, half press the shutter until the action happens. So this happened quickly, but I went back for days, and I probably kept shooting this for about a week and a bit, an hour each time or so.
Beautiful.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
And that's the point. You find somewhere local like you have, and you go back in different lighting situations until you get that perfect shot. And I imagine you'll still keep going back to get different shots.
Yeah, and you get the winter and the summer and the different lights.
It all changes. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. I have some other ones here where the light is coming more through. It's a very dark image. It's exact same place, leaves, everything, but it's a completely different image. So yeah, definitely go back again and again.
Yeah, Fantastic.
Okay, Gavin, if we could have a look at the next image.
Oh, I love this one.
Oh, this
We
is
featured this
fabulous.
on our Instagram
Yes.
channel, didn't we? I remember
Yes.
this one. It is brilliant.
Tell us about this image.
Thank you. This is from. This is also in early spring, so in April. This is at a black grouse lek just up from my house. It's actually, I just started doing workshops, so this is my first kind of season of doing that. And I was taking people out with me to photograph these black grouse. If you don't know that, every spring they will really start to, all the males, this is a male one here, they will start to show off and fight at these specific sites that the site itself doesn't really have any value. It's not like a territory like a bird, but it's just a site that they've decided this is where we're going to come and kind of do battle. And a little bit into April, the females will start to show up, and that's when these guys get really active, and they'll start doing these kind of jump flights like this. And this was also taken with the OM1, and I kind of show this here because it's one of those images that I'm not sure I would get before the OM1, because it's really taken advantage of the AI bird detection. You know, I was it's hard to
So cool.
Yeah, yeah.
so it's hard to predict.
Eyebrows.
I don't know anything about
Little-
black grouse.
little
What are
fluffy-
those? I mean, obviously they're the feathers of sorts, but the eyes are just underneath. Can you see?
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
But they are like
Yeah.
eyebrows, aren't they?
Really well groomed.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
Well
what's
groomed
the-
and
so you
coloured.
shot-
Yeah.
Yeah. What were your sort of camera settings when you took this?
So my camera settings for this, so it was the OM1. I was actually using my 4150 with this, with the 1.4 extender, because sometimes
combo.
very, very great combo, because then you get that zoom, you can go back and forth. And when we're out here
Super
taking
bright.
photos like this, then you have to be hidden. So we go into hides, like a little tent, and we hide at least an hour and 20 minutes before sunrise, and we stay in there until they leave. So we try not to disturb them whatsoever. And so it's very important to have a zoom then, because sometimes they can come very close to your hide, sometimes we move further away. So having the 300 was a little bit more limiting. So the zoom worked perfect then for me. So with
Wonderful.
f4
We've got
on
another-
that,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was shooting at a shutter speed of 1/1600th of a second and ISO 8000 again. So I needed
Wow.
that 1600th of a second just to freeze the action when they're flying, and just bump up that shutter speed a bit.
And the thing about Micro Four Thirds and systems, people have always said with issues with ISO, and this is the one massive improvement on the OM1, because obviously
superb,
with the
yeah.
new sensor, with the new processor, you can achieve
Yeah.
high ISOs that you may have not have achieved so well in the past. The new OM1 has totally taken the system to another level, because
Yes.
shooting 8000 would have always been a bit of an issue without lots and lots of processing and stuff. And
I think this shows that you shouldn't be afraid
Yeah.
to push those ISOs. You know,
Absolutely.
your last two shots at
Yeah.
8000 and
Yeah,
think-
like you said there, with previous camera model, I probably just wouldn't do it. I would just not do it. But yeah, I'm not afraid to push it more here. I just got a question there. I saw it popped up.
the
If that was
question from David.
manual, if it was manual focus. No, so this is really taking advantage of the AI bird detection. So I'm using the entire grid on my camera with all focus points, and it is always picking out the bird. It is kind of automatically finding a bird and focusing on its eye. So this is normally when you take images like this, I think most wildlife photographers would say that you focus on one bird and you track that bird and hope that that bird is going to jump. But I was really trusting the AI bird detection here, and I was watching a few birds, and I saw the one that jumped close to me. I immediately moved my camera, focus, and pressed, and it got it. So incredibly happy with that, and just the reliability of that focus.
Oh, look, Mary Chambers says the red bits are called wattles.
Oh, very good.
Yes, like chickens and hens and things, which we are looking at over there. They've got
Some
wattles
chickens,
as
yeah.
well, haven't they? So if you hear chickens in the background, they are local.
the rain has started to.
Yes, I was more worried
Lower
about the
down.
dripping on. So if you see me looking over there, there's a big drip coming down off of the gazebo, and I was thinking, oh, it's fine.
Do a live outside, he said. It'll be fun, he said.
I mean, I'm so It's hilarious. We love it, Gavin.
I bet Espen's lovely.
Giant
and warm.
warm.
And dry.
I mean, your background looks so nice and bright, you know. But
Yeah, I mean,
You
my
can't-
my
you can't
laptop's
see the
sitting
rain.
there on the desk.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you know, that'd be fine.
It's all about.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all the fun of going live.
Well, and the interesting thing is, there's lots of cameras around, but guess what? They're all weather sealed, so it's
That's
absolutely.
true. Gavin's slowly moving
Gavin's
your bag.
getting my laptop out of the way.
And
Don't-
mine as well, Gav, on the floor down there. Thank you.
It's literally just our laptops. We don't
If
care
anyone,
about
from,
it.
if anyone from IT is watching, we'll be asking
Sorry.
for some replacements later today. We've got another question, so that's good timing.
While
Let's,
Gav's waiting,
let's
so
take a
Bruce
look.
says, how much post-shot processing
Ooh,
do you do?
That's a good question.
very good question. I don't do that much. I'm not the kind of person that likes to do a lot of post processing. I'd rather be out
Yeah.
shooting. So there has been periods, you know, where I've tried a little bit more Photoshop and that, but I found that it's just not me. So I do a little bit in Lightroom and then I move on.
Yeah, I'm the same. To me, processing is like admin.
It's time consuming.
Well, no, you're at the laptop, and
Yeah.
it reminds me of admin.
Takes away your shooting time.
You know, right?
Because you're,
You want to be, you know, creative, and the point about what you see is what you get with the live view, of course,
Yes.
is you can adjust your exposure and
Yeah.
you can get it spot on every time, and that's the joy about mirrorless systems,
Yeah.
isn't it? You know.
Absolutely.
Okay, Gavin.
Let's take
Next
a look
image.
at another image. Oh, look, we look a bit sharper now. We look less. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, lovely.
I
This
love-
is
I love
beautiful.
hairs up
I've
in-
never done this
No,
type of
I've never.
photography.
Okay, this year
Right,
we're going up to
Espen.
Espen.
You're
Yeah, winter's coming.
absolutely.
It is.
You are more than welcome. Yeah, we should definitely do that. A little trip up the hills.
I
This
would
is,
love it. Tell us about this shop.
So this is back in, what was this, November, maybe 2021, and I
Okay.
just saw that, you know, first day of snow on the hill, and I was just going. So I went up the local hill, which is about, I think it was about 800 meters up, and you just stay there for the entire day photographing these mountain hares. So their kind of fur has just probably changed like a month before this to
Right.
white, and that's, you know, so you kind of want to get those snow days and just get them in, you know, their habitat, the way probably there were more of these kind of days before. We don't have that many of them these days. But yeah, so going up there, this is probably with my EM1X with the 300 millimeter, shooting at f4. And I was looking at my shutter speed here, and I was thinking, oh, that's a little bit slow. That's a bit risky, actually. It was 1,250, and I would prefer it to be a little bit higher when they run, because, you know, when they run, you know, you could easily get a blurry image. And I was at an ISO of 200, so I could easily have afforded to go a bit faster.
Yeah.
But sometimes these you know, they just set off, and you just got to be reactive, and sometimes, you know, it works
And
out.
the light is
I was
the
gonna
light
say that.
is
On the
stunning.
nose, it's so beautiful.
I mean, obviously you get in the reflection of the snow, which helps a little bit with the light and your exposure, I assume. But obviously that doesn't, you know, you can't take it to the point where you're going to not get blur. But I assume that the reflective snow helps a little bit with exposure.
Yeah, well, in the snow, you do often have to overexpose a bit. You know, your camera will often go a bit darker. One thing I really did in this image here as well, because it was the first day of snow, there wasn't a complete snow cover here. So I'm really trying to use that foreground under a little hill of snow, and trying to blur that out to make that a kind of a smooth white background. And I can also then kind of, you know, hide away a little bit of bare ground sticking up there that maybe you don't see then.
This image is getting a
Lots
lot
of
of
love.
Everyone, you'll see all the comments popping up. Love this photo, excellent. Yeah, people really love this.
Yeah, please,
Thank you very
if
much.
you've got any questions for Espen about any of his images.
Oh, we do.
Sam, question, please. Matt says,
And should you turn off IS when photographing birds in flight? That's a very
I
good question.
never do. I think that is more of an old. I think is that more of like kind of an old school thing on older lenses and systems that you would do that.
yeah,
Think
I
so.
think, yeah, and also there was so many, the thing about the Olympus system is we've always done image stabilization from the body. That's where we sort of started, whereas some other systems run image stabilization in the lens and in the body, and sometimes there can be conflicts, whereas I've always felt that the stability of the OM system in camera is what it's all about. And
Yes.
generally I only turn the IS off when I'm on a tripod and I need to do things like, you know, like maybe some live comp stuff, but even then it's a very rare that I turn IS off now.
I don't think mine ever goes on.
Yeah.
There you go. No.
I also quite like it because when you have, if you, for instance, are trying to aim at a bird that is in flight, the image stabilization helps you just smooth out your view. Because if not, you're kind of a little bit all over the place. And
Bouncing.
it can be,
Especially if at that top end of
Yeah.
the focal length.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
at sort of 2000 mil, for instance, which is like you say, it
The
can bounce.
slightest little movement will bounce if you're image stabilization.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're not
Yeah.
tripoding as well.
Yeah.
So actually, like you say, sometimes half press and you just get that locked shot, and it
Yeah.
does help you
Yes,
photograph
absolutely.
and sort of get your shot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Shall we take a look
Yes.
at another image? I don't know how many we've got. I'm just going until Gav says we've run out of images.
Brilliant.
6. Okay, good. We are on number 3. He's trying to do this to me. 5, 6.
Keep going, Gav. Let's have the next image.
This
Right,
is the fourth
one.
Okay.
Okay.
Sam explained it far better.
Oh,
Nuthatch.
well done.
That's right.
Look at you and
Yeah,
your birds.
thanks.
I'm so impressed.
A year ago, I would not have known that. That is beautiful.
Oh, I
that
love
light
that.
again is just.
It's just
Stunning.
I mean, it's the backlit thing again, which really
Yeah.
helps. But the fore exposure, it's not just about the backlight. You've got the back and the front exposure so perfectly balanced there.
But I must query this because a lot of your
Oh.
images have had light and sunlight, and I thought it was just grey and rain.
Rain in
dark
Scotland.
So, like it is here right now, down
Yeah.
in Sussex, I bet you look outside your window and you've got beautiful, glorious sunshine right now, haven't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So you're just getting rid of a myth that Scotland, it always rains. Tansy says colours and tones look amazing. They really
Yeah,
do.
I agree with
Thank you.
Tansy. It's beautifully balanced, the exposure. Generally,
Yes.
when you've got backlight, like exposing for the front of the
Yeah.
bird then can be a bit challenging,
Yes,
can't
yeah.
it? But also, if you look at the tree, the trunk of the tree is perfectly exposed as well. So tell us a bit about the shot and how you got it.
Cool. So here I want to include, because it's a very different from all the other ones. This is actually in my garden, and this little bit of trunk of tree here was actually something that had fallen down in my forest. I took it into the garden, I stuck it down into the ground, and there's a little feeder of peanuts underneath here, and the nuthatch is the only bird in the UK that will actually do this. It will actually crawl down a trunk or a tree
Okay.
like this.
Yeah.
Like no other birds will actually do that. So it's it creates for a really cool kind of stance the way it goes there. And exactly like you pointed out, I had backlit, and that you get that little bit of rim lighting around
Yes.
it, which
Yeah.
does,
Beautiful.
other than that, for the settings, I mean, this was very kind of standard settings here. I was using my EM1X 300. I was at f4, and I mean f4 is usually wide open is usually what I would shoot. There's every now and then I deviate from that, but mostly that's it. And the other things were ISO 800 and shutter speed of 250th of a second, which
Beautiful.
can be a bit low. I very often prefer to go a bit low and try and keep my eyes so down when I can, and I take a burst of images, and it usually works out right.
And you've
Fantastic.
got getting a lot of
Yeah.
love. And as I said, you're right about the nuthatch being in that sort of downward position,
Yeah.
because generally when you take a picture of a bird, it's this way up and the stick is underneath it,
Yes.
sort of thing, or the branch. So to see it like this is such a beautiful, beautifully taken shot. So we
And I
love
think
it.
the colours of the nuthatch and the background
So just-
complement each other. It's just all is just
Nature blending beautifully together there.
fantastic.
Yeah, there was actually a tree in the background with some yellow leaves that had started to come in. So I was actually trying to kind of
Yeah.
pose it that
You
direction.
planned
Yeah.
it, yeah. We have another question. I
Yes,
think.
we do. Tony says, how do you decide when to use subject tracking, for example, bird AF, and when to use another autofocus mode?
So I mean, on the OM1, I will usually start out using the kind of AI bird detection mode most of the time, and I will have a quick button set up so I can change when it doesn't work the way I want it, or maybe it's catching something else. And it is kind of, you build it up through experience. You see that in certain cases, it may be if you know, a bird on water is too much submerged, it might not capture it, it might be too far away, it might not, or it might be a cluttered environment. Sometimes then I'll try and make the box smaller, but still use the bird tracking or the AI detection. But if not, then I'll just change over to continuous autofocus, one small focus point, and I put the focus exactly where I want it. But it is a trial and error, and you build up kind of experience of what situation works and which doesn't. But also, I want to say that no, go ahead.
Go on. I'm thinking what you just said about customizing the buttons. This is so important, because when you are in the field and you're doing exactly this, to learn to switch in and out of Bird AF and the modes that you use generally, a custom setup is so crucial, because there are lots of buttons and bits and pieces on the cameras, but the joy about the system is you make it your own, and you've done exactly that. I have the same. I have Bird AF on the back, and I switch it on, switch it off.
Things happen so quickly, don't they? Especially with birds, they move so quick in different situations. You just want to be able to flick it on, flick it back off, and change really easily. We have another question.
Yes, gosh, good guys. Keep the questions coming.
Did you soften the background in Lightroom or Photoshop?
No, I don't think I've ever done that with an image.
Brilliant.
Again, I don't really do that much post-processing and even know that much processing. So no, I haven't done that.
Same, absolutely.
So F4 all the way to give you that background, right?
F4 all the way, and choosing a background that is further away. Yeah.
Yes, exactly that. Okay, let's go to the next question.
You probably all can't see.
Next image, you can't see.
I can hear it.
Brilliant. Can you hear it?
Yes.
The things we do for you all, everyone at home. Like you said.
Even the camera, we don't mind about the camera.
We don't mind. The good thing, weather sealing.
It's fine. We're absolutely fine. I like the fact that the sort of the trees and the curtains are starting to move.
Sideways.
We're going to sort of start water to being floated away in a minute in some sort of flash flood. Okay,
let's take a look at another
next image. I love it.
It's all part of going live.
Oh,
beautiful.
Oh, do you know what? That is an absolutely stunning shot, and I'm so glad it's not in the centre of the frame.
Yes.
Only because it is stunning as it is. You know, people do tend to stick it right in the middle, but you've got that beautiful slope of the hill, beautiful horizon in the background. But I love this. Absolutely love this. Tell us about this shot, Espen.
Thank you. This was actually quite early on when I got my OM system. So I was on the EM1 Mark II, and this is one of those images that I don't think I would have gotten before, because this was also, it was one of those times in between. It was at the first lockdown. It just kind of ended, so we were allowed to go out a little bit more. And this is on a mountain that's called Loch Nagar, and I lived in a town called Ballater, and we saw this hill, and we just like, we have to go hike that when we're allowed again. And it was actually quite it was a nice sunny day, and I thought, it doesn't weigh that much. I'm going to take my M1 Mark II, my 300 with me in my bag. Came across this red deer, and so happy that I did. This is actually, I was quite lucky with this. Like, you can probably see there is a bit of clouds in the back, but above me, it was a blue sky, and most of the images that I was getting at first was very harsh, and I thought, I should just give up on this. But then I saw that there was one white cloud heading towards the sun, and I feel like, let's just wait and give this a try, and it did eventually cover the sun, and gave the more or less smooth, kind of softer light, so I didn't get the harsh shadows on the deer. And this is one of those rare times when I did actually use, I think I went for an f-stop of 7.1, because I felt that f4, the definition in the hills in the back was they were just almost disappearing completely in it. And I really wanted to show, I wanted to show the habitat that it's in, what's in the back, really.
Environmental shots are so important, especially where you live, and Susie has just mentioned that herself, that
seeing a stag in
because we tend to have to go to Knoll Park or Bushy, and they tend to be
London parks,
based, and they're not wild. No, they are wild, but they're not wild. But
this is face. In the Highlands, in context, with beautiful surrounding hills, and I think that is what is so important about, you know, it's lovely doing complete, you know, single headshots of,
sort
of
of
stags that we
portrait
see a
type
lot of.
things,
Yeah. But it's so lovely to see a wider angle with the mountains and everything in the background.
And you're right about the 7.1, just to make that
Yeah.
little tiny, little bit more
Yeah.
clearer background. Not too clear, but enough that
Yeah.
that context. I absolutely love this shot. It's absolutely beautiful. So, thank you.
I think that's a great tip, like going from f4 just up a little bit to 7.1, just to, you know, see that definition a little bit, something that people might not have thought about. They might have either gone much higher to get it, you know, as much in focus as they could, or stuck to
Well,
f4.
is that Espen's last image, Gavin? Was that the last? Yes, I think it was. That was 5, wasn't it? So talking of what you just said.
What did I just say?
You just said that's a great talk. One more. We have one more. We're going to go. We'll talk about this in a second. We'll go back to this.
We'll come back to that.
Then we have one more image. Let's go for that. Oh, look at that. How camouflaged
That is excellent.
is that owl? Tell us about this shot, Espen.
Fits right in there, doesn't it?
So does.
Yeah, so this is with the OM1, and so I heard this owl. It's right next to my house actually, and I heard it out during the day. So I found it at day, and I took a few images. But I thought, you know what, if you want to get an owl, you want to get it at twilight. You want to show that darkness a bit, and you know, it just feels more owl-like. So I came back in twilight, and I wanted to try the high-res mode on the OM1, and that worked out perfectly. So this image here is actually taken with so it's the OM1 300, and I used the teleconverter as well, so I can go a little bit further away and not have such a steep angle up at the bird. And I shot this is ISO 16,000, and I've not actually used any kind of noise removal here. So I assume that the high res, because it's taking loads of images and combining them, it's almost like it's taking care of that noise for me, which is pretty incredible.
Was this handheld or was this tripod version?
Handheld, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly that. Well, the handheld version works a little bit different to the tripod version. The tripod version moves the sensor in 8.5 pixel increments, which is why you need a tripod.
Yeah.
The handheld version is more of computational. It takes up to 16 images, decides which of the 16 are the best to use, and then puts them in like a stack, I suppose, if you want a better word for it. So that's the difference between the two. But actually, and obviously by laying all those images on top of the other, it works out the better contrast. It works out, you know, those areas, and this is exactly why it's worked perfectly. So I love that.
Fantastic to use handheld high res on a
Animal.
bird,
What
on an animal.
You always
that's
always
incredible.
landscape
We always think
or
landscapes,
static things.
Yeah, or still life or things like that. That's what we've always thought of. But actually, seeing it on this is just incredible.
Yeah. We have a
Yeah, I'm
question.
definitely looking for more opportunities to use that high res mode, just how fast it is now as well.
Yeah, so Terry Day. Hey Terry, lovely to see you on the show. Espen, how dark was that?
Well, that's kind of difficult to say, but I was down to 1/60th of a second, so I was down to a slow shutter as well, and ISO 16,000, so it was getting quite dark. Yeah.
And it looks like you've got quite a bit of tree coverage there as well. So
foliage, lots of foliage.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I could have definitely taken this at a slower shutter speed. Like I could easily have taken this at a 20th and got my ISO even lower. But I was really just testing out the high res and just pushing it a bit and see what I could do. Yeah.
And this is the thing about learning the OM system and the OM1 is. It's not remembering what you already known before. It's taking what you know and moving that into what can I do? How can I push it? Where are we going with the photography?
And trying
limitations,
different things and different functions to to use handheld high res for birds and for wildlife.
Yeah,
it's using the computational features and the features of the camera to do something a little different and seeing what the results are. And I think that's what is so fun about photography and about our cameras is it gives you that extra, bit to explore.
Step out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
Get off of aperture priority f8. Do something else.
1.2 wide open.
25mm 1.2 wide open. Get out of your comfort zone. But I know that was the last image, but actually, question. Let's do the question first.
Okay.
Sam? Do you ever use the EE dot sight for birds in flight?
No, I've never tried that, but a lot of people have been asking me that. So it's something I want to look into because I think a lot of people are saying it works quite well.
I'll
So
ship you
I will
mine. You
try.
can borrow it for a little while.
Yeah, we've used it quite a bit.
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, actually. There's a guy, one of our favourite photographers, Martin Abbas.
Yes.
He uses it. Do you remember we saw him in the hide up at?
We did.
And he doesn't take it off.
Yeah.
And the way he
Relies
uses
on
it
it.
is unbelievable. I mean, I thought I knew how to use it until I saw him use it. I was like, ooh. And he gets shots of. I don't know if you've seen his Insta lately of all the robins coming forward with the
Yes.
the worms.
Yeah, I've seen
so
them.
he
Yeah.
uses the dot sight amazingly well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So let's just flip that back a bit. Obviously, we've talked about how you're using the OM1 and the OM system, and for our viewers, we have an exclusive Zoom workshop coming
do.
up with Espen. It's not going to be a one-off. It will be running more later, but nobody's done this before with Espen. So it is up and ready now on our events page, and you can book and you can see more amazing images, but also you can see how Espen is pushing the camera and pushing things like ISO, and you can ask him all the questions. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I think Gav's sort of sorting the link out, which is why I'm trying to ad-lib.
But there'll be lots
Really.
of tips and
There you go.
techniques
Yeah.
and more beautiful images shot on OM system.
Yes.
So it's a session not to be missed. It's on the 9th of September.
Yes.
And it's on 6 p.m.
Till
That
7.
is UK time.
Yes, UK time 6. I'll be moderating, so I'll be there as well. And the idea is you can ask, it's going to be a much more of a deep dive session. We can't really do the deep dive sessions live because it's World Photography Day and we've got lots
And
of
we
things
chat
going
and we
on.
ad lib and we,
Yeah,
you know.
so we're going to be doing lots of these breakout sessions. So
Yeah.
keep your eyes on the Olympus of keep saying Olympus.
System.
Slap for me every time I say it. OM Systems page. That and there'll be some. Espen is also doing some OM workshops on setup, also on EM1X and EM1 Mark III. So do head over to the page if you would like to book any of those. Okay, Gav. Where were we?
Well,
Did
I
you have
only
a question, Sam? Were you
She
waving
held
a
up
question?
Yes. When will you be running workshops?
Ta-da!
It's like you knew.
Yes, I mean we need to go to Scotland.
We
How
probably
many
do.
times do we interview an ambassador and
Every
go?
time.
Sweden, Spain.
Yeah.
I mean
Australia.
Australia. Oh
That
yeah,
was
of
one.
course.
Yeah.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Scotland. Scotland.
Yes.
So we could sort of go
We
to
need to
Scotland
go
and
on a
head
grand
off to
tour.
the Shetland afterwards. You know, we could sort of head up
Yeah, that's
north.
a good idea.
But yes, I think if you are new to, even if you're not new to OM,
Yep.
what you see in Espen's work is actually a little bit different to everyone else's, and I think it's really worth jumping on that Zoom.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had such fun. We did one with Andy Sands a couple of weeks ago,
did.
and it was sold out. But we ended up going on for about an hour and a half, and it was so interesting
Yeah.
and so informative. And I'm sure that this is going to be the same. And Espen, of course, runs his own workshops. If you're in Scotland or you're heading up to Scotland for a week's holiday or whatever, that could be part of your trip. So
What a great part of a trip.
I know. Why are we not going?
I know.
Why are we here in the rain?
Soon. I know, it's sunny in Scotland right now.
We could go live from
We should have
Espen.
gone live from
Right. Trip to
Next
Scotland.
time,
Write
yeah.
that down.
next time. And this is exactly what, World Photography Day is. It's learning from different photographers
Yeah.
and picking up new tips and tricks. Trying it out and,
Yeah.
and then share your images. So, we want everyone to go online and share their images and make sure they tag us today on World Photography Day.
Yeah.
Espen, I have one last question for
Oh.
you.
Okay.
If you were running out the door,
Yeah, 20 seconds
you'd
to pack.
heard that there was an owl outside and you had 20 seconds to grab your kit, what would be your go-to? One camera, one lens, go.
Go.
OM1 300. If I have time, I'll put my teleconverter and just attach it to
Okay.
my belt or something. Because it's always good to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, the 300 is such
great lens.
an incredible
Yeah.
lens. And I know people like the zooms, and I know, but I do feel, not that they make you lazy, because I don't want to say that sounds rude, but actually I think you work that little bit harder if you get yourself in the right position in the first time. And when you've got a fixed focal length lens, that's what you have to do. It is much more about where you are. And of course, that again is what we're going to be talking about in your Zoom, about fieldcraft and about how you use that 300mm.
Absolutely.
Which is, I just can't wait. It's going to be really exciting, really exciting.
Fantastic. And Espen, thank you so much for joining us. Your images are beautiful.
Love them.
We can't wait to see your workshop, and more importantly, Claire and I can't wait to come and join you up in Scotland.
So
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us, and say goodbye to everyone, and we will see you again soon.
Thanks everybody for joining. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Espen.
Take care. Wow. If you've got a lot of love for Espen, go follow him on his YouTube channel, subscribe. Honestly, some brilliant hints and tips. Such a nice guy.
His videos are great. He went to Costa Rica recently, some
yes.
really beautiful footage from there.
Yes.
Also follow him on his Instagram channel as well.
And he's got workshops, so if you're getting up to Scotland, get on them. That's what I say, they're brilliant. Okay, let's talk about World Photography Day.
So, we have a day of exciting photography tips and tricks happening globally, all around the world in 5 different languages. There are Zoom sessions happening today. The English speaking ones are sold out
already.
Wow! Really quickly, and we opened up more spaces.
Yes,
and they sold out again. But don't worry, because we are adding more and more in the coming weeks. There will be more sessions going live. So do keep an eye on our events platform, because there will be more appearing.
Yes,
but
exactly.
If you're interested, there are still sessions in other languages: German, Czech, Spanish, and we have some live sessions from them later today as well. Claire and I will be back at the beginning of September for another Coffee with the Claires. And check out the OMSYSTEM.Cameras Instagram page, because David on Tuesday will be talking all about focus stacking.
Yes.
So get your tips and tricks sorted for focus stacking ready for
the Olympus Summer School. Yeah, ready for fungi season, which we are starting to get into now.
They're going to be popping out soon.
Yeah, brilliant stuff.
And remember to tag us in all of your images. We want to see what you're doing for World Photography Day, or just share some of your favourite images with us, because we absolutely love seeing them.
And I'd like to say a big thank you to Gavin and Sam, who have used every single towel and blanket in their house to cover all the equipment behind. Totally taking a picture of that before we leave.
Absolutely still see the water.
You can see the rain coming down
behind us. We've gone from mega heat to a lot of rain. It was definitely
We needed the rain. We needed the rain. I don't mind the rain.
No, the wildlife, the ground, everything needs the rain, so we don't mind it. But
and the show must go on, Claire.
It must. Soggy or not.
Exactly.
We hope you've enjoyed today's show.
Lovely to be back.
It is great to be back.
Really good
sitting
to be
together.
back.
Have a fantastic World Photography Day, and we will see you very, very soon.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.